Welcome back for round 3 of 4 for Modern FNM, post-banning Modern FNM. We are Dayton Magic Club coming at you live from Epic Loot in Centerville, Ohio. And I just want to make it clear to everybody that we're only affiliated with Epic Loot in as much as they're very gracious hosts and let us here. We're not employees of Epic Loot or anything.
That is correct.
So when I say that you guys should really come out here and play Magic at Epic Loot, that's just purely from a fan perspective.
Oh yeah. We do not work for Epic in any fashion.
They're just gracious enough to let us use their internet and their tables and everything.
Yeah.
And to work with us on getting matchups and everything for you guys. But a great shop. Over 100 players here tonight. 2 huge tournaments going on. And a cube draft on the side. They had to turn people away. They wanted tables tonight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's a big game room. Big, great game room.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. I'm Ryan Johnson. This is Jacob Ross. We're in the booth for round 3 or 4 of Modern. This is kind of a cool thing that happens sometimes where we get to put table 1 on camera.
Yep.
And it's kind of some cool decks.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think these are 2 very interesting decks.
So we know that Adam Minniear is playing what?
Merfolk.
Merfolk. Kind of a deck that it was a deck kind of at the beginning of the format a little bit. It was one of the natural decks because there's an existing legacy deck that's almost card. You can play almost card for card. It's a powerful strategy, very linear, but very powerful strategy. Preys on the other blue decks of the format. Just has a fast clock, some decent disruption. It's like the Aether Vial deck of the format, which is kind of cool. Playing against, that's Adam Minniear playing that. And then Kaveh is playing
Infect.
Kind of cool. These are 2 decks that I think, Merfolk, like I said, was kind of underground for a long time. You know, it had some minor success kind of at the beginning of the format. As the format kind of shook out, it's been less popular, although it did just top 8 the Grand Prix.
Merfolk?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, definitely a powerful deck. Adam is undefeated with it right now. And he's playing against Infect. I don't know all the details of the Infect deck. Is it the stock?
I'm not sure. There are
a couple different ways to go.
Yeah. You can play either blue, green, or green, black.
Yeah, so there's the really disruption heavy one that plays Mirror Crusader or Phyrexian Crusader.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. Plague Stinger is the other one to get out of black.
Yeah.
And then there's more of the legacy port, pump spells and blighted agent kind of deck. So we'll see which one that is.
So Darren is betting that this match lasts 3 minutes tops. I think you won't be surprised.
It's possible. The Infect deck can put together some very fast kills.
Right.
Depends really, in a lot of ways, what kind of disruption Adam has. I think it's really interesting that Spreading Seas is good against Inkmoth Nexus.
Right.
That's kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Not to mention that your color mana is usually kind of taxed anyway.
Yeah, it can be for sure. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting that this is post Treasure Cruise banning, and we see 2 decks that historically kind of struggled with some of the Treasure Cruise decks coming out here and having a good night. So I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, I guess this kind of played into our decision to put these folks on camera.
Yeah. It's table 1.
Yeah, table 1, and both of these players are actually very good players.
Absolutely. So. And Adam, of course, DMC stalwart with his DMC playmat. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was talking to Noah, and he said, "Does Wright State have a Magic Club?" I'm like, "Well,
you're in it.
You're in it, basically." Yeah.
I don't know if it does now, but yeah, that's where Dayton Magic Club got its start. Was at Wright State Magic Club.
Yeah.
With Jeff Von Druska. Jeff, if you're watching, we miss you, buddy.
Come back, Jeff.
You were the best. Jeff was awesome.
So
but Matt Farney came out of that kind of scene here locally. I don't know if you played Magic obviously before that, but Adam Minniear and Matt Farney and Dave Pitstick and some of the other guys that are very solid local players all started playing together at that event.
Right.
So
Adam leads off with Chris Catcher beating him for 1, dropping Kaveh to 19 life.
Yep. And here Kaveh responds with an Inkmoth Nexus and a Blighted Agent. So we're definitely on the blue creatures and pump spells plan.
Yep.
Which I think is scarier.
I agree with that. So that's another Chris Catcher from Adam Minniear.
Curse Catcher not necessarily horrible in this matchup. Is that a Rancor?
I believe that is a Rancor.
I love Rancor.
Rancor, one of my favorite cards. So this will be for 3 poison, which now puts Adam at 3 poison. So.
Yep.
Kaveh only needing to assemble 10 poison to win the game.
So Adam needs to get something going.
He needs like a Lord.
He needs a Lord and like some Vapor Snacks, right?
Yeah, he either needs like enough disruption or just a fast enough clock, which he can certainly cobble together. You get enough Lords in play, you can win turn 4 or so. That's the kind of start he wants, or one that the Vapor Snack is big game against this Infect deck. So Kaveh now at 15.
Yeah, it needs a Lord.
Yeah.
This board is just not all that impressive without Lord. I mean, that's kind of Merfolk in general. You play a million Lords, so it's okay to kind of rely on drawing them. But without Lords,
Yeah.
Curse Catcher is just not as good in Modern as it is in Legacy.
I agree.
It's fine. It's not great, where in Legacy it's like one of the reasons it pulls you into Merfolk is how powerful Curse Catcher can be.
Yes.
I beat Merfolk with Belcher at the last big Links tournament I went to.
Yeah, I remember
It
that.
was awesome. I beat Curse Catcher Force of Will in game 2.
Did you make him shake your hand?
Yeah.
Did you say shake my hand? So this is 1, 2, 3, 7.
Just a ton.
Also known as lethal.
So all right, we're gonna counter that by feeding it 2 Curse Catchers. Sure.
So Adam will go to 6 poison.
Yep.
Which is a rough shape. Yeah. There is a gaming club at Wright State.
Sure.
They do like Dungeons and Dragons kind of games.
To answer your question, Darren, the original. This is back in like 2001, 2002. It was just Wright State Magic Club. We had Jeff Andruska, who was a level 2 judge, and he just founded Magic Club. Back in those days, you didn't have to be a store to run organized play, so we actually got like the Friday Night Magic kit from Wizards and ran it out of the hangar. We just met up there every Friday and played Magic.
Yep.
There wasn't like a lot of the great shops. Epic Loot hadn't opened up yet. Game Haven wasn't selling Magic cards. So it was like Mavericks and Strike Zone were the 2 card shops in there, and neither of them had game rooms.
And you had to go like Springfield.
Yeah.
If you wanted anything more.
So essentially and that was it. Enough poison.
Yeah, Adam died to 10 poison there. Yep. Kaveh was only at 11 life. Well, I shouldn't say only, but
that's a lot of life when you're.
He had a healthy life total.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
That was the year after Darren graduated.
Yeah, that was the year I went to Wright State.
Nice.
I took a year off at Wright State. But yeah, it was a great little club. There weren't a ton of us, but it's where like Dayton, definitely the nucleus. It's where I met Joe.
Yeah.
Me and him got together and formed Dayton Magic Club, and then like it's where we met together, where we met like Matt Farney and Dave Pitstick and Adam Minniear, who have been like big supporters of what we're doing here and that kind of stuff. So Jacob Bauer, who we had on camera earlier, played out there at Wright State Magic Club. So a lot of those guys still playing the game and still kind of being, I mean, it's been like 15 years almost, and these guys we're still hanging out and still playing Magic. So
it's the Springfield Dayton area kind of does have like this rich history of players, and throughout, I guess, like you mentioned, like the last 15, 16 years, there have been a lot of good players to come out of Dayton.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, people have competed at Pro Tours.
Yeah.
An invitational champion from Dayton. So
got a very vibrant scene.
Yep.
The thing that's amazing to me about living in Dayton, small city.
Right.
But you can play competitive. You can play sanctioned Magic 7 nights a week.
Right.
So there's a store within like 20 minutes of you that's running a sanctioned event all 7 days a week.
And you have a good selection of formats.
And I think you can probably play every major sanctionable format in the course of a 7-day week.
Yes,
on average. True. So that's really cool.
It's crazy.
It's got a great scene. So that's why Dayton Magic Club exists. We want to promote that scene.
Yep.
It's doing great. So we have sweet play mats.
Yep, like the one Adam's playing with. We still need to change the read locally to watch locally.
Yes, because we don't do a lot of written content anymore.
Actually, I have a radical idea.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drop it on air. I think we change the name of Dayton Magic Club when we're talking about coverage to Dayton Magic Coverage.
Could be.
What do you think about that?
DMC.
That just rock your world, or what?
Blew my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or the DMC, Dayton Magic Club coverage. I don't know.
Dayton Magic Coverage Club.
Jacob isn't in WCU Magic Club. I am not. I'm assuming you're talking about me. I don't know. I don't think there is a WSU a Wright State Magic Club. There might be. If there is one, I don't know about it. There are folks at Wright State that play Magic cards quite a bit. They play not in the hangar nowadays, but there's like underneath the stairs that go up to the student union. There are people there who play casual formats quite a bit. So if you like casual formats and you go to Wright State, they seem like a pretty chill group. So.
Yeah, the thing is now, like a lot of those clubs, that used to be kind of a pretty common way to play FNM back in the day.
Right.
Was like clubs and organizations. Like they used to play like out at Knights of Columbus Hall.
Yeah.
And they used to play at Wright State. It was where you go to play FNM.
Right.
But now you have to be a store to be part of the organized play program. So, well, that's not as big of a problem because now there's a ton of great stores locally. There didn't used to be.
Right.
You know, back in the day, like you had to get a local guy to organize a lot of the times. So.
This person was actually talking about Jacob Bauer.
Oh, okay.
Was he in the original? Dayton Magic Club?
Yeah, he came around.
Cool. Yeah. So it's cool, you know, it kind of just proves how good of a game Magic is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played it since 2002. I've never really stopped.
Sure.
I mean, that's a long time to play a game, you know, like.
But, so, yeah, this matchup, okay. You're at a Minniear. You obviously want all your disruption, so, like, your favorite snacks are really good. I don't know if he has any other removal.
Right.
Looks like he's mono blue. Sometimes you used to see these decks kind of run Dismember sometimes. I don't know if he is or not. Obviously very good.
Yes. I like Dismember.
But his start was pretty lackluster. Against a lot of decks in the format, that start just wouldn't have gotten there.
Anyway, yeah, exactly.
So, if you're a Kaveh, you just want to do exactly the same way. Early threat, couple of pump spells, just force it through.
Yeah, and having one of your threats be a land.
Yes, it's very good. It's one of the strengths of the Infect deck, and obviously one of the strengths of the Infect deck in Legacy is you have crop rotation to go get your lands, but the lands is...
Yeah. As far as I know, there is not a Wright State Magic Club.
Currently. We're talking, this is 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah. What is now known as the Dayton Magic Club.
Yeah.
There might be a Wright State Magic Club. I'm not sure.
Sure. I hope there is.
If there is one, start one. That'd be cool.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Some mulliganing, you know.
It's good. That's what you want to be doing.
No, it's not actually.
No.
Oh, I think for like a week they should have the Pokemon Mulligan rule.
What's that?
If you want to mulligan, you can redraw 7, but your opponent gets to draw.
Ooh,
how you like
spicy.
That? How you like that?
That's spicy.
Yeah. That's actually awful, and that should not ever happen. But you know, the classic 6 pile shuffle. Big fan.
I'm a 5 pile guy.
Ooh, you can't do 5.
Yeah, of course you can do 5. 5 piles of 12, man.
You can, but I mean, like, I don't know. 5, I don't like 5. I like 7.
7.
7, 10, or 9.
That's weird.
Yeah, Shuhei Nakamura always did 10, and then he would do 9. So there you go.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Shuhei Nakamura.
Big Shoe, they call him.
No one called him that.
No, they all called him that.
Oh, sure. Shuhei.
Yep.
The first time I ever saw live Magic being played was at Pro Tour Columbus in 2004.
Yeah.
Where, like, I'm sure everyone's seen the video now, like, Oso doing commentary and he's just making fun of the guy. I saw that live.
How was it?
It was awesome.
Change your whole life?
Yeah. So there's at one point he talks about Oso says Gary Wise likes to eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
And then you hear like this break in laughter, and it's because Gary Wise and the audience turned around and flipped off, which you probably not allowed to do nowadays, you know. So that was pretty great.
All right, here we go.
We got Curse Catcher.
Didn't get there last time.
Oh yeah.
Maybe now we go like Lord, and we're playing Magic.
Oh no, 1-drop.
Not a ton of 1-drops in the deck.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd rather have one, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you rather have one of your 4 Glisten realms, but that's like it, right? Like, what else is there?
So I'm assuming this is not a lord.
The post-combat lord?
No, of course not. Yeah, Silver God, of course. That's a
very good magic card.
Yeah.
One of the other things that pulls you into fish.
Yeah, Curse Catcher's insane. Big fan. Oh, Kaveh still doesn't have a threat. That's interesting. So he must have like the pump spell heavy hand.
Yeah.
Or some sort of like disruption. No, there's no pile shuffling is not actually shuffling. Spell Skite.
Actually, really, really good.
That's very good.
Because you can spend the life really freely, and you can eat all the pump spells.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
really good.
Yeah, so when we were thinking about, like, oh, what Cyber cards? Yeah, Spell Skite.
It's obviously in there more for, say, like, the Twin matchup, where it's good because you can eat the Splinter Twin.
Right.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also, like, in conjunction with Kira, Great Class Spinner, makes you guys really hard to kill.
Yeah. So Adam, I guess you could think about that he's on a 5-turn clock, because Pendlehaven is actually probably the best lane he could ask for.
Pendlehaven, very, very powerful in this deck.
Although I think this is going to be a fast enough clock. Oh, good God.
Lord, was that what that was?
So this is for
Tried.
7.
Yep.
He's going to pump his guy up. And not block, because they all have Island Walk. They have Island Walk.
Said, oh, never mind.
Like, that is a 2-3. That is fine.
We were talking how good Merfolk is against decks that have islands. Like, It's just, you just goldfish.
Yeah.
He's dead next turn.
Yeah, Adam's at 2 life. I forgot to mark down life total, but Kaveh is dead to this attack. I believe Kaveh is at 12.
Yeah. You know that the Infect deck doesn't start blocking until it's in trouble, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Took him 3 turns to get a threat down. It's like just trying to put it in front of these angry fish.
Yeah, I would imagine that this game is over, but
especially with the spell Skite, you can't even like draw like a removal heavy hand and blow up and take out the lords because spell Skite's going to eat the first removal spell. So that's the much better fish draw.
Yeah, that's the one you want.
The problem with fish is that when it draws, it's sort of like goblins in Legacy. I'll keep making that analogy like all night.
Oh yeah.
It's like sometimes goblin just looks horrible. You're like, this is like my first play is like a matron, and then your next play is like, you know,
they've wasteland these two play like another matron.
yeah. It's just like this is horrible, but fish can do that sometimes. You draw like the curse catchers. You never draw like the lords that kind of tie it all together. But man, when that double lord draw is brutal.
Or your hand's like 2 islands, 2 Aether Vials, a Spreading Sea, and a Curse Catcher.
Yeah.
It's like, great.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is that fish is probably the monocolor deck with the worst mana.
Exactly.
Format. It plays all 4 Mutavaults.
Yeah.
In Legacy, it plays 4 Wastelands, and all its spells cost double blue.
Yep.
And
it might have the worst mana base.
In Modern, it's not uncommon to see some Ghost Quarters or Titanic Edges or other utility lands in those slots.
Yep.
But those come at a very real cost when so many of your spells cost double blue and need to be deployed on time.
Yeah, so you pretty much have to play the Aether Vials.
Yeah, Aether Vials, very important part of the deck's plan.
Yeah, and I think Mutavault is also too good. So.
Yes, Mutavault is a beating. There's the reason Mutavault was so expensive before it was reprinted. The card was like 60 or $70 for a minute.
Yeah,
it was just very, very expensive.
And past standard, it saw tons of play, and it wasn't even like at its fullest potential.
Yeah,
because it couldn't really take advantage of any tribal effects. Like sure, it makes your pack rats bigger, but like pack rat's gonna win anyway. So who cares?
Yeah, that's very true. Just efficient van lands are very, very powerful effects, especially when you have good control decks in the format, because the control decks play them as sometimes the only victory condition in the entire deck.
And they're also very good against control decks. Yeah. So
you can put like 29 lands, and but some of them are man lands, so it just works out great.
It's like Adam split one of his sleeves.
Get out of here.
Keep calm and split your sleeves.
But as a consummate professional, he has spares.
Yep. That'd be awesome if you just took out like a Brent Orange sleeve that he attached. It's like, it'll be fine, but I'll just close my eyes when I shuffle. Alright. So Kaveh is on the play, which is definitely where he would like to be, although he is mulliganing.
Yeah.
In fact, is it that you kind of have to mulligan somewhat aggressively, although you'd much rather not to.
Right, well, the problem, of course, is that it's relatively threat-light. Your threats can end the game very quickly, but you don't play a ton of them. And unlike its legacy cousin, you don't get to play a lot of library manipulation or tutor effects. You just kind of have to draw both the right pieces.
Yeah.
You have to draw like the right amount of creatures and the right amount of pump spells.
Adam keeping his original 7-card hand.
All right. Let's see what we got. Tanking about it a little bit, it appears.
And mulliganing really hurts Infect.
Yeah, the double mulligan is hard to come back from that deck because, like I said, maybe you get the opening hand that's like Blighted Agent, Rancor, and that's like you're like I'm like land.
Yeah.
Like that, you're just like it's like Christmas.
Well, it's like you need each piece.
Yeah.
It's not like you have cards that gain you more cards anyway.
Right. Exactly.
It's
like not gonna ponder and brainstorm through your deck.
Yeah. It's like so you basically need dudes and the pump spells
and lands to cast them.
And the lands. So like as you're mulliganing, you are getting deficient at each of those.
Yep.
And so that probably means you're definitely not going to get one of those categories.
Right. It means you have to draw into it. So once you mulligan twice with this deck, your first, or more so than a lot of decks in the format, your first 2 or 3 draw steps have to be really kind.
Yes, they do. It's not a deck where you want the game to go on for very long. That's for sure.
With that said, Inkmoth Nexus is one of your better cards, especially post-mulligan, because it's both a land and a threat. No turn 1 play from Adam. Not unusual. Fish doesn't play a ton of them. Right. He'd much rather have an Aether Vial, say, than not have an Aether Vial.
Exactly, yeah.
The games can play out very different.
Yeah, no turn 1 play, I mean, it's not exciting, but like his turn 1 plays aren't that exciting against Infect anyway.
Oh man, I want to see a Vapor Snag here so bad.
So that's a mutagenic growth. Yep. Oh my god.
There it is.
Vomit. Or no, that's a Dismember, I think.
Okay, either way.
Yeah, it's a Dismember.
That is brutal.
That's insane. So not only pegging him off of a land, but
burning a pump spell.
Our bottom left banishes Legacy. Oh my god, it does.
It said that the whole time, huh?
Yeah, the whole time.
We can't change it from this computer, so we're just consummate professionals.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. Anyway, so now Adam and you're playing Spell Sky, which is going to just ruin everything Kaveh is up to. Well, I guess that's not true, but it's definitely not good. The mulligan really hurt Kaveh.
Yeah, I mean, and then like having the timely removal spell for not just anything, but like a land too, is savage.
It's 2 cards. It's Stone Rain.
Just a bunch of savages in this town.
Yeah, because I mean that land pulls double duty. It's how you win.
It was really important.
Yeah.
And now we got a Lord and a Spell Skite.
Yeah, Dominic, who would have thought, man?
Just putting the foot down.
Dismember good against the aggro that does a pressure like yeah, not bad. Not bad.
I wasn't sure if he had them. They're not as common in Fish as they used to be, but still, obviously, a very powerful magic card.
Oh yeah, and you can also figure that like a lot of the creatures that like.
Oh, there's another Lord. Why not?
Oh my god. Yeah, take 3. So Kaveh at 17, and yet another Spell Skite. So. This is not looking great for Kaveh.
Nope.
Mutavault.
Yep, why not?
And Adam swinging for 6. Gonna drop Kaveh down to 11. So Kaveh's at 11 life, Adam at no poison.
Yep. And Kaveh looking at 10 damage next turn on board.
So there's the elf, what's it called?
Glistener elf, but obviously not going to be enough, especially with all the island walking guys. Pump spells all turned off, removal spells all turned off. Not a lot to do to escape from that news. So I actually thought the Infect deck might have a reasonable game against Fish because it could be so fast and because Fish is not particularly removal heavy.
Right.
I thought that the Infect deck would be favored in a straight up race.
Right.
And of course we saw a lot of mulligans from kind of that game, that match. I think he mulliganed once and then twice.
Yeah, if he does a mulligan that last match and he has like a reasonable hand, I think he's actually in pretty good shape. Well, actually maybe not. Adam had a pretty good draw.
Well, then what we see is that the Fish clock can be, you underestimate it sometimes. I know I do. but with the right draw, fish can be extremely explosive.
Right.
And at that point, it doesn't take a ton of disruption. One vapor snag and like one spreading seas can lock up a game when they only need 4 turns to kill your opponent.
The lords are just so good.
Yeah.
Like in the fashion that they add to your clock, it's so much.
Yeah.
Because it's not only power itself, but also just like it basically puts in like a 2/2 and then like another 4. You know, it just adds so much more power to the board.
Yeah.
You can think of it as like one lord might add 6 power to the table.
Very reasonably. Yeah. So that was round 3 of 4.
Yep.
We thank you guys for tuning in. And
more than 50 of you guys.
Oh man.
Big time. We
really appreciate it. We made it, guys.
Yep.
If you're watching this for the first time, and like 47 of you are,
right.
We do this. We try to do this every week.
Yeah.
At least 3 times a month.
Yeah, that's the goal.
We cover a lot of the formats out here. We do standard. We do modern. Some nights we do kind of revolving. We'll do a couple rounds of standard, a couple rounds of modern, a couple rounds of commander, whatever's looking good, whatever's interesting. We also do Eternal format coverage on the weekends.
Yeah, Legacy. Yeah.
In fact, this weekend, I think everyone's playing in it, though.
Yeah.
We might set up the camera and have some exhibition games or something if you guys want to watch a little Legacy.
Yeah. So I guess the kind of, if you live in the Dayton area, tomorrow there is a pre-PTQ at Maverick.
Yes, there is.
That is the standard format. We will not be there. But on Sunday is a IQ. It's an IQ.
Yeah.
The standard that starts here, and then that starts at noon.
Yep.
And I believe the Legacy tournament starts at 2 p.m.
And we get a very decent Legacy turnout here.
Oh yeah, regular. I mean, at least 12 people.
At least, and
kind of like 30.
Many more than that. Yeah, sometimes you see 30, 35 players. So
right.
Just a wide range of decks. Just a really good cross section of the Legacy format. So if you're an Eternal enthusiast, definitely come out and check us out, or tune in. We might just set up the cameras, play some games on camera, that kind of thing. But do come back and join us for round 4. We're going to cut away for just a couple of minutes while we get set up for the next round. So bear with us. If Joe is here, we have some cool graphics he could play for us.
Probably some chip tune or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know those kids and their music.
But yeah, come back and check us out. We're Dayton Magic Club, broadcasting live from Epic Luton Center of Ohio, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Thanks, guys.